In partnership with Southern Philippines Medical Center, Department of Science and Technology, Philippine Council for Health Research and Development, Overseas Workers Welfare Association, and the Philippine Overseas Labor Office in Kuwait, we present to you, Kumusta ka, Kuwait? A telepsychiatry project for overseas Filipino workers. First, let us define what telemedicine or telehealth is. Telemedicine, in its literal sense, means healing at a distance. It has a lot of branches, and one of its departments is telepsychiatry, which is the focus of our project. Specifically, our study is entitled Acceptability of Telepsychiatry Among Overseas Filipino Workers in Kuwait, wherein we aim to determine how acceptable or satisfactory a telepsychiatric consultation is. This is with the use of telecommunication devices such as laptop and a video conference software, Zoom as a means for a psychiatrist to communicate with a patient. These patients or participants are OFWs who are housed in the OWA facility, or what they call as the shelter, handled by Polo Kuwait and the embassy. These OFWs are distressed due to physical abuse cases, economic abuse, rape, and the like, and are waiting to be repatriated to our home country. Now, this is the timeline of our project. We started off last September 2021 with several meetings with partner agencies. Then we allocated a few months for programming, tailoring the system to telepsychiatry in Kuwait. And later on, met with the frontliners in December. So these were the Kuwait staff whom we oriented and gave an overview of the process and the system. However, earlier this year, due to the surge of COVID-19, it took us about 3 months for OWA to officially approve of our project. During this time, system testing was done, documents were translated and updated, and several comprehensive trainings were also held in collaboration with OWA and the Kuwait staff. In April, we were advised to seek approval from DOLE before starting, as some participants had legal cases which were sensitive. A month after, we were finally approved. However, again, we were requested to get approval from the Department of Foreign Affairs. Once the last of the agencies sent their approval, we started the telepsychiatry proper the next day, right away. This was on June 17th of this year, and several consultations were held after that. There was a total of 11 consultation days, 4 of which had 2 batches, a morning and afternoon session. Updates on the project will be discussed later on. Next, let us see the picture of the players involved in this project. Of course, we have the participants of the study being the OFWs in Kuwait, as mentioned. Next, we have our contact persons, the Kuwait staff, a nurse and encoder, and we also have government agencies involved, such as OWA and POLO, administrative staff whom we collaborated with and reported to. And the team here in Davao, Philippines, the SPMC team consisting of the project lead, project managers, researcher, IT team, and an outsourced personnel, a psychiatrist consultant previously connected to SPMC. Let us now briefly discuss the process flow. Now, Kuwait contact persons, the nurse and the encoder, they visit the OWA facility every Friday. We do it once a week. However, there were times where we had to do it bi-weekly to catch up with missed sessions. Let's proceed with the process flow. Prior to the consultation proper, the nurse in Kuwait invites the OFWs to the project by handing them a brochure, which we provided, or by simply verbally explaining the project to them. Once they're willing participants, the nurse then secures their informed consent and collects participant details. The informed consent is a 4-page document where the English and Filipino translation can be read side by side. After which, the encoder types the participants' details to the system, which has this interface. Now, these tasks can happen at any day of the week. Now, during the consultation day, of course, the nurse sets who gets to go first, and then takes the participants' vital signs. He sets up the meeting via Zoom, and the telepsychiatry consultation can commence. Now, the OFW can speak to the psychiatrist online, real time.
Once the session is done, the nurse then assists the participant in answering the telemedicine satisfaction and usefulness questionnaire, which is a 2-page document consisting of 21 statements. This is a Likert type scale where 5 levels of agreement are evaluated. 5 is checked if the participant strongly agrees to the statement, with a gradient going as low as 1, where she strongly disagrees. This data gathering tool was obtained from Bakken et al.'s study and patterned to the modified version of Brenner's research. Let us now see how the system looks like. This system is an electronic medical records tailored specifically to telepsychiatry in Kuwait. It is an EMR where one can encode patient's demographic profile, set consultation, provide details for a telepsychiatry interview, and many more. It has a login page, as you can see here, where it functions by account basis. Each user has their own for accountability purposes. It is online, it uses a web browser, it has a dashboard which shows the appointments for the day, and it has a vital signs area where you can encode the vital signs. There's also mental status exam where the psychiatrist can input his evaluation, medication selection, diagnosis selection, and the demographic profile, as you can see here. This is where the nurse or the encoder inputs the patient's or the participant's details. So as you can see, you can select the birthday, you can select the gender of the participant, the marital status, all the highest educational attainment, and the rest. And once you click Update Patient, you can now see the patient's details. Now this is the calendar option. Oh, by the way, this is where you can see also the add consultation. Now this is the calendar option where you can see all the appointments monthly, weekly, and daily. There we go. And once you click on one of the patient's names, you can be directed to their profile right away. There is also a list of patients where it is arranged alphabetically and also a functionality for reports. Now for the updates of the study, these are data gathering or telepsychiatry consultation results as of today. As of today, September 12, 2022, there are a total of 54 participants, all being females, with an average age of 35 years old. The following are their diagnoses. Now for normal reaction to stress, there were 33 participants diagnosed with such. 14 had a diagnosis of acute stress disorder. 5 were diagnosed with major depressive disorder. 1 was diagnosed with brief psychotic disorder, and 2 had a diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder. Now for the TSUQ results, the average score is 4.74 out of 5, which means that the majority of the participants strongly agrees to the positive statements related to satisfaction of telemedicine use. Now among the statements, patients scored the following particular items the highest. In general, I am satisfied with the telemedicine use. The telemedicine system helps monitor my health condition. My provider uses information from the telemedicine system in my office visits. My privacy is protected during video visits. And I can explain my medical problems well enough during a video visit. At the last page, the participant can write their comments. Some of these include themes of having a sense of burdens being lifted, being comfortable with the psychiatrist, and gratefulness of the service. So that is all for the updates of our study. You can see the contact details of our project lead here, along with the project's email and implementing agency, Southern Philippines Medical Center in Davao City, Philippines. Thank you for listening, and may there be more projects that would aid our countrymen.